This will be as deep as Western Hills has been all night. We'll see what kind of drive they can get on track right here. Of course, they've got to eliminate the mistakes. The defense certainly has sparked since that goal line stand in the first period. And since the first drive of the game, Western Hills not able to move the ball very well against the Broncos.
It appears that Miller may play Jackson in the first half and Williams in the second half, because Jackson's back in there again with Freeman and Lanier and Credell in the backfield. To Lanier. Tries to go around left, gets a little running room, and gets the first down and a few more out to the 40, crosses the 40 out, but not quite to the 45-yard line. So nice run by Don Lanier.
That's only Lanier's second carry of the night, his first one for 10, and that one going for just about 20 yards. Brings it out to, well, about 15 yards, I should say, out to the 35-yard line. But big yardage for Don Lanier, and he's been the bright spot early in this season. And remember, Lanier is only the junior, all the rest of the backfield seniors, but Lanier is the junior, and he's got the big numbers so far this year for Western Hills.
From the left hash mark, 1st and 10, 6:43 to play, 7-0, Broncos on top. That's Credell as he tries to go across the right side and eke out a few more yards, gets about 3 on that carry. And it'll be 2nd and 7. Well, it's a perfect night for football, about 85 degrees or so from
beautiful
the opening kickoff.
Yeah, just west of downtown Fort Worth. You saw the skyline a few minutes ago.
Well, that's one of the pleasures of being here from the press box, because you get that great downtown shot.
Best view in town.
Such a pretty city. But the scoreboard, not a pretty sight. Credell in motion. The handoff goes to Freeman. Tries to go across the right side. Everybody's banging in there. And maybe a gain of another 2. It'll be about 3rd and 5 here.
Freeman's picking up some yardage on his own. Not much there. So he's able to bull his way for a few yards. Western Hills has now put the tight end, Brian Tabor, back in tight. We saw at the Circus Bone mostly through the first quarter. Tabor was split out wide to the right, but here for the 3rd consecutive play, they've got Tabor in as a true tight end.
And the man that goes wide is Chris Helsley, number 84, up at the top of the screen. Freeman decides to pitch it out to Credell as he goes out of bounds and around the 40-yard line. Boy, Freeman waited till the last minute. Jackson waited till the last minute to pitch it out to Montague Credell. I mean, he waited till he was in the line of scrimmage and pitched it.
We'll take a look at it here. Yeah, you'll see the patience that Tenefri Jackson has, and this comes with experience. A year ago, he wasn't ready really to go the first game, and therefore got off to a slow start. But take a look at him here, the experience he's got. He's going to hang on to the ball right here, gets across the line of scrimmage, and then he draws the pursuit in, and then goes ahead and pitches it out to Montague Credell. And another Denton Bronco now shaken up. That's
DJ Morris.
44, DJ Morris, one of the linebackers.
Well, if you notice, too, that Jackson waited till the last minute to even take a look to see where Credell was. I mean, he wasn't looking around early in the pursuit. He was going to go all the way around, and at the last minute look, gave a nice head fake, and as a result, got the ball out, and now it's 1st and 10 from just inside the 40-yard line for the Cougars as they start getting a little deeper into Bronco territory.
Well, that'll really tempt the cornerback. He's the man that's supposed to come up and take the pitch man. Of course, the defensive end stays with the quarterback, so he's covered, but the cornerback is going to have that tendency to go to the quarterback, especially once he crosses the line of scrimmage and never looks at his pitch man. Jackson doing a very good job on the option that time and picking up big yardage now for Western Hills.
Big Bill Holcomb, number 51, comes out. He's a 215-pound senior at the center. Jackson, the pitch out to the right side. Little stutter step there to the right side. Number 27, Ron Hawkins with the carry that time. It's a number that has not been called that much.
Hawkins, another underclassman, and another one they're happy with through the scrimmages this year against Odessa High. They met the Odessa High Broncos 2 weeks ago out in Abilene, and Hawkins carried the ball 5 times for 160 yards and scored 2 touchdowns in that game as Western Hills outscored the Odessa Broncos 4 touchdowns to 1 in that first scrimmage of the year.
Well, with the backfield all being seniors except Don Lanier, they better start working Hawkins a little bit. Nice move by Freeman as he turns around and gets another couple of yards and spins around one more time, gets up to the 20. And Western Hills, not only are they gaining some yards, but also eating up the clock.
On the move once again, and Freeman getting the ball. He's doing most of the work from the backfield, but with the good running backs Western Hills has, they are able to spread the ball out. I talked to Classical Freeman earlier this year, and he does want to rush for 2,000 yards. He knows that's going to be tough with all the quality backs that he's got to split up playing time with.
Jackson, he keeps, gets across the 10, inside the 10, down around the 6-yard line before he's tackled by Chris Mosley, the strong safety. Inside, or just coming up on 4 minutes at 4:13 to play.
Well, that's the first time tonight that we give Teneffrey Jackson credit running the ball. He's a good rusher, too. He's got some good numbers through the scrimmages this year.
Cedric Shores to make that Corey Martin to the right side. Jackson, a handoff to Freeman, gets up close to, but not quite, the goal line. Inside the 1, though. And now it'll be second down and extremely short. Goal to go. This could be the tying score right here as they shuttle the plays in. Number 84, Chris Helsley, coming in.
Freeman smelling that goal line that time.
Yeah.
We saw down at the other end of the field in the first quarter when Denton was able to hold Western Hills. Didn't look like the running backs were hitting the holes like that, but that time Classical Freeman going full speed at the time he hits the hole.
And the handoff again goes to Freeman, and there's no indication yet. Up to, but not quite the goal line one more time. Gets stifled. 3:32 to play.
Well, the center, Bill Holcomb, saw touchdown. It's very close to that goal line, but no word from the referee, so that'll bring up a third down and just inches to the goal line for Western Hills.
Once again, Western Hills knocking on the door. They took 4 plays and didn't score on the other end of the field. Now they're at this end. Lanier in motion, and Jackson keeps it himself and gets the touchdown. Bill Holcomb comes up and slams his hand down as if to say yes. And the Cougars get their score. Now is the time to even it up.
Jackson able to find the hole right over the right guard that time. The junior, Ben Youngblood, 260-pounder. Youngblood's just a sophomore.
260 pounds?
260
Order
pounds
that boy some more
sophomore.
Big Macs.
But again, one of the inexperienced offensive linemen we mentioned earlier, we say inexperienced because that's the only place on this Western Hills team you can call inexperienced.
Yeah,
they don't have a bad line at all. But if you want to say they're inexperienced in any area, it's along that offensive line. But the 260-pound guard, watch over the right side. Youngblood's lined up just to the right of the center, and that's where Teneffrey Jackson's going to call his own number and go over his big man and in for the score easily.
And coming up off the bottom of the pack, number 54, Steve Murray, who is in on the play as well. So now there's a little conference going on with the Cougar Brain Trust, as we've got 3 minutes and 8 seconds to play in the first half. It's 7-6, waiting for the point after attempt.
Well, that Brain Trust includes the Cougar offense. So what it looks like here is that they're trying to come up with something to go for 2 and take the lead just before the half. 3 minutes to go before halftime, and trying to come up with something. Western Hills has always had a kicker, and they've got another good kicker this year, Trey Wright. There's no problem with their kicking game, but right here it looks like they're going to go for the 2-point conversion.